Right, let's get one thing straight. Formula One isn't just a bunch of blokes driving ridiculously fast cars around a track. It is, without a shadow of a doubt, the absolute pinnacle of motorsport. It's a traveling circus of speed, genius engineering, and monumental egos all colliding over one glorious weekend. Think of it as a high-speed chess match where the pieces are multi-million-pound carbon fiber rockets and the players are some of the bravest and possibly maddest drivers on the planet. From the sun-drenched streets of Monaco to the legendary corners of Silverstone, it is a global spectacle that demands your full and undivided attention. Forget what you think you know about racing. This isn't about just turning left for a few hours. A Formula One race weekend is a meticulously planned 3-day campaign of strategy, skill, and raw power. It begins long before the 5 red lights go out on Sunday. It starts on a Friday, with teams unloading enormous lorries filled with more technology than a space station. The drivers, who are treated like rock stars, walk the track, studying every single bump and curve. This is where the battle truly begins. Not with a bang, but with the quiet hum of computers and the intense whispers of engineers. The whole point of this weekend-long affair is to find out who is the fastest. But it's so much more complicated than that. It's about managing tires that are designed to fall apart, engines that are pushed to their absolute breaking point, and drivers who have to make split-second decisions while traveling at over 200 miles per hour. Every single detail matters, from the angle of a front wing to the timing of a pit stop. It's a symphony of controlled chaos, and when it all comes together, it is quite simply the most exciting thing you can watch. So, how does this grand ballet of speed actually work? It's broken down into distinct sessions, each with its own purpose. You have practice, where teams try to figure out their cars. Then you have qualifying, a brutal test of pure, unadulterated speed. And, finally, you have the race itself, the grand finale where points are won and legends are made. Each part of the weekend builds upon the last, ratcheting up the tension until the final dramatic showdown on Sunday afternoon. It's a formula, if you will, for creating pure, unadulterated automotive drama. The weekend kicks off on Friday with practice sessions. This is not, as the name might suggest, a gentle warm-up. This is where the real work happens. Drivers spend hours pounding around the circuit, learning its secrets, while their engineers stare intently at screens filled with squiggly lines. They are testing everything, new parts, different car setups, and, most importantly, how quickly the tires will turn to mush. It's a vital data-gathering exercise. A team that has a bad Friday is almost guaranteed to have a miserable Sunday. It's their only chance to get the car dialed in before things get serious. After the tinkering of practice comes the main event of Saturday qualifying. This is where the faint-hearted need not apply. It's a nail-biting 1-hour session of pure white-knuckle speed designed to decide the starting order for the race. It's not just about setting one fast lap, it's a knockout tournament. The session is split into 3 parts: Q1, Q2, and Q3. In Q1, all 20 cars hit the track, and at the end, the slowest 5 are eliminated. They are sent packing and will start at the back of the grid. It's brutal, but brilliant. Then comes Q2. The remaining 15 cars go out again, and this time another 5 are ruthlessly chopped from the running. This session is often the most strategic, as drivers must start the race on the same set of tires they used to set their fastest lap in Q2. This little wrinkle can throw a massive spanner in the works for a team's race strategy. Finally, we have Q3. This is the top 10 shootout. The 10 fastest drivers left are unleashed for one last blast to determine who will start at the very front. The driver who sets the fastest lap of all in Q3 earns the coveted title of pole position. This is the best seat in the house, first place on the starting grid, with a clear track ahead, and nothing but glory in sight. Starting on pole gives a driver a massive advantage, as overtaking in Formula One can be fiendishly difficult. Qualifying is, therefore, one of the most important and exciting parts of the weekend. It's a pure test of a driver's skill and a car's raw pace, and it often provides just as much drama as the race itself. Sunday is race day. This is it. All the practice and qualifying have led to this moment. About half an hour before the start, the grid becomes a scene of organized chaos. The cars are wheeled into their qualifying positions, surrounded by a swarm of mechanics making last-minute adjustments. Celebrities, dignitaries, and TV crews wander about, adding to the sense of occasion. The drivers try to find a moment of calm amidst the madness, focusing on the monumental task ahead. It's an electric atmosphere, thick with anticipation and the smell of high-octane fuel. Then, the formation lap begins. This isn't just a parade. The drivers weave from side to side, warming up their tires and brakes to get them to the perfect operating temperature. It's also their final chance to check that the car is working properly. Once the lap is complete, the drivers guide their cars back into their grid slots with millimeter precision. The mechanics make a final frantic dash to get clear of the track. Then, silence descends. All eyes are on the 5 red lights suspended above the start line. The start sequence is brilliantly simple and incredibly tense. One by one, the 5 red lights illuminate. When all 5 are on, there's a pause, a collective holding of breath around the world. Then, at a random moment, the lights go out. And it is utter pandemonium. 20 engines scream in unison as the drivers launch their cars off the line, all fighting for the same piece of tarmac into the first corner. A good start can make a driver's race, while a bad one can ruin it before it has even properly begun. The race itself is a marathon of speed and strategy. The distance is set to be the smallest number of laps that exceeds 305 kilometers, which usually takes around 90 minutes. The only exception is Monaco, which is shorter because the lap times are so slow. To win, you simply have to be the first driver to cross the finish line after completing the required number of laps. Along the way, drivers and their teams have to manage tire wear, fuel consumption, and, of course, try to overtake their rivals. It's a relentless, high-stakes sprint from start to finish. Just when you thought you understood everything, Formula One decided to throw a spanner in the works with the sprint weekend. On these special weekends, the entire schedule is thrown out the window for something a bit more chaotic. Instead of 3 practice sessions, you get just 1 on Friday. That's it. 1 hour for the teams to figure everything out. After that, they go straight into a qualifying session, but this one, called the Sprint Qualifying, only sets the grid for a short race on Saturday. This is not the main event. On Saturday, we have the sprint. It's a 100-kilometer dash to the line with no mandatory pit stops. Think of it as a flat-out 20-minute blast where drivers can really go for it without worrying too much about strategy. Not only is it exciting to watch, but it also awards championship points to the top 8 finishers. The result of this sprint race then sets the starting grid for the main Grand Prix on Sunday. So, a driver who has a good sprint can massively improve their starting position for the big one. This format completely changes the dynamic of the weekend. With only 1 practice session, teams have less time to perfect their setups, which can lead to some unpredictable results. It also means there's competitive action on all 3 days of the weekend, qualifying on Friday, the sprint on Saturday, and the Grand Prix on Sunday. Some people love it, arguing it adds more excitement. Others, usually the engineers, probably hate it because it gives them less time to think and more chances for things to go horribly, horribly wrong. The point system is also a key part of the championship battle. In the main Grand Prix, points are awarded to the top 10 finishers with 25 points for the winner, 18 for second, 15 for third, and so on, down to a single point for 10th place. There's also a bonus point on offer for the driver who sets the fastest lap of the race, but only if they finish in the top 10. These points are what decide who becomes the world champion at the end of the season, and every single one is fought for with everything the drivers have. Now, you can't have 20 cars doing 200 miles per hour without some rules. To communicate with the drivers, marshals around the track use a system of colored flags. The most common is the yellow flag. A single waved yellow means there's a hazard ahead, and drivers must slow down and be prepared to stop. Double-waved yellows mean the track is wholly or partially blocked, and you must slow down significantly. A green flag means the danger has passed, and you can get back on the throttle. Simple. Then, there are the more serious flags. A red flag means the session has been stopped, usually because of a big crash or atrocious weather. All drivers must immediately slow down and return to the pit lane. A blue flag is shown to a driver who is about to be lapped by a faster car. It's a polite, but firm instruction to get out of the way. And finally, the most glorious flag of all, the black and white checkered flag, waved at the end of the race to signal that you have, at last, finished. Sometimes, an incident on track requires more than just a yellow flag. This is when the safety car is deployed. A very fast Mercedes or Aston Martin road car will come out onto the track and lead the pack at a reduced speed. Overtaking is forbidden, and it allows marshals to safely clear up any mess. This bunches the entire field up, wiping out any lead a driver might have built, which can completely change the outcome of a race and create some spectacular restarts. Finally, there's the virtual safety car, or VSC. This is used for minor incidents that don't require the full safety car. When the VSC is active, a message appears on the driver's steering wheels, and they must all slow down and maintain a specific, slower pace around the entire lap. This freezes the gaps between the cars, allowing marshals to work safely without unfairly penalizing the race leader. It's a clever bit of technology that, along with the flags and the safety car, helps to keep the spectacular, high-speed world of Formula One both thrilling and, crucially, safe.